Good morning, family. It's 3:56 a.m. on Saturday morning, so I guess it's like today is the 16th, 17th. My days are like super everywhere, like totally all over the place. My days are all everywhere. Um, I really wanted to come on here and talk about one thing and also catch up, but guys, it hit me. My god brother, um, he went to Ohio to visit his godchildren and was exposed. I'm thinking on the airplane or something like that, and he contracted the virus and he passed away last Monday. I know I was supposed to, or I said that I would upload a video, and some people hit me via email and was like, what's going on? Where are you? Thank you guys for caring. And I was just like, sorry, couldn't get it. So because that happened and I've just been trying to like regroup and everything. So that's the reason why I hadn't, and that's the reason why this video is a little bit different. Everybody's nails are busted, right? They don't have any salons open, no hair, no none of that good stuff. Nobody's being barbered. Yeah. So he passed away Monday. So shout out to him, my god brother John Wesley. James, that's his name, John Wesley James. He has 3 first names and 3 last names. Okay. Yeah, that one was difficult. So, other than that, again, I was going to talk about one thing, but because of that, I'm going to talk about uh, the 5G versus the COVID-19 virus that people kind of don't understand. But before I do that, I want to apologize again for not coming on and at least giving you guys a clip to hold on or whatever. But because the day I was supposed to come on was supposed to be like Kobe Bryant Day or something like that. And I was like, I missed all this Kobe Bryant Day for real. Okay. I'm not hating on Kobe Bryant, but I mean, uh, but I guess maybe that is the universe's way of telling me that I need to talk about how this virus and Kobe Bryant relate, God is so much. Listen, if it starts to run together, just hang in there with me. So, and it wasn't so much that it was Kobe Bryant Day. Don't get me wrong; he can have a day. Whomever can have a day, but it was like trending. It was like literally trending. So I don't know. Um. Anyway, so again, nails busted. Whatever. Right. Okay. So wow. Here's the thing: the COVID-19 coronavirus disease 19 versus 5G, if you can even say versus what it is. I'm sure you guys have probably heard people saying that it's a ruse. It's really, this or that. Okay, here's the thing with the 5G. Someone called me up. Actually, my best friend. My best friend's a boy, right? He called me up and asked me if I would explain it to his aunt. So I figured, you know, if she needed it explained to her, maybe I should explain it here on this platform. So I'm going to do that really quick. Well, maybe not really quick, thoroughly, but hopefully we can get into some other stuff because you guys know I don't like to, make really long videos. Somebody's tuned in already at this crazy hour with me. Thank you. Hi. I don't know who you are, but I can't see it, but thank you for hanging in here with me. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to try and explain it as rudimentary as possible. Okay, what's happening is when someone contracts, I don't know if I should say contract, when someone gets or is diagnosed, that's better. When someone is diagnosed with cancer and they start treatment, generally chemotherapy, which is a Western way of dealing with it generally, and then they start to cough and become nauseous and vomit and whatnot, it is not the chemotherapy that is making them develop the flu like symptoms. The chemotherapy is making them vomit. But when they're close to dying and the closer they become to dying, they start to cough a lot. And a lot of people think that, you know, it's, well, put it this way, regardless, a person can be my godmother, the godbrother who passed away, his mother passed away of breast cancer, God bless her. And when the nearer she drew to death, the more she coughed. She wasn't a smoker or anything like that. So if people think people are coughing because of that, that's not the case. It's the cancer. It's a flu-like symptomatic situation, okay? It's not the chemotherapy. They cough a lot when they draw nearer to death, cancer. Now, a lot of people say that when they find out that they have cancer, generally a woman can have like a lump or something like that, and she'll go to the hospital or very rarely pain. Some people even say flu-like symptoms, and they go to the doctor for something different, and then they find out that they have cancer. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Let's get this straight. I'm not a medical doctor at all. I'm not trying to be one. I'm trying to correlate the virus with 5G. Okay, so here's the thing. When the X-ray machine first came out, the man who developed it, okay, he started off doing what most of us do, using the people who we love around us as our guinea pigs. So he started taking X-rays of his wife's hand. And after a period of time of taking X-rays of her hand, it started to become, it started to physically atrophy. And it was obvious to him, at least, that it was due to the X-rays, taking the X-rays, and as a result, or the radiation from the X-ray. So before this particular science was even able to be cultivated, they knew one of the immediate drawbacks of X-rays was the radiation, which could cause cancer or I'm sure a myriad of things, but that was one of the immediate um, understandings that they had. So anyway, COVID. When a person has cancer, again, they develop flu-like symptoms. But when a person has cancer and they're diagnosed, they have a period of time to live between the diagnosis and a cure, God willing, or lack thereof, and they die. So a person can get sick, let's say a person doesn't get treated. And the doctor says, untreated, you know, this person has 6 months to live. Let's just say hypothetically. Okay. That's some notice, okay? Notice to do something, be it a Western cure, an Eastern herbal cure, or prayer, nothing at all, hope, or just say, okay, you know what, submit to it and go, okay? But they still have time, be it 6 months, a year, 2 years, however long it would take the disease to fully attack their body and for them to die, okay? Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. The first thing that we became aware of was dial up on our computers. There was dial up, broadband, then it got a little faster, and then the phones came into play. Not that cell phones didn't already exist, but the expedition, the increasing of the speed started to go up. So it wasn't so much of technology anymore because the advancement of technology and computers had basically hit its peak with the internet. So they kept drawing on our impatience and wanting to exceed the speed. In fact, sometimes you can go on like Google or something like that and go into your search engine, and before you even finish typing what it is that you're looking for, a word that you've never even put in the search engine before, it finishes typing it before you do, or gives you a suggestion. It's damn near like it knows what you're thinking. So okay, so then it, with the phones and the internet speed, it was 2G, 3G. This is post dial up, 3G, 4G, and by the way, G stands for generation, and then 5G. And in case I forget to say so, 6G is on the legislation floor right now to be passed. Okay, it hasn't passed, but it's there. Okay, so it's all about the speed, right? The speed of the internet and how much bandwidth or speed you get. Okay, they have sped up the generations, the G, or the better still, the innovation has sped up so much to 5G at this particular point that the reason why people are telling you that it's 5G and the government's and others are telling you other things is this. This is the correlation here. When a person gets the cancer, they have that 6 month or more window, right? Okay. Because of our exposure to the 5G via computer, telephone, or your neighbor's telephone or internet or whatever it may be, television, right? Because of exposure to that, that causes radiation, okay? And then that's why very many years ago, people were saying, put copper pennies near you when you use your computer, okay? Anyway, I'll come back to that, or if you guys want me to do a video on that, I'll put a comment in the description box and I'll do that. So anyway, so it kept speeding up, speeding up, speeding up. So because of the exposure to the 2G, 3G, 4G, now finally 5G, it has called the radiation has gotten into people, okay? And once it gets into people, they get sick. And you're like, well, how can you get sick from that? The same way that a person can get the symptoms or flu-like symptoms from being exposed to radiation, or when they have cancer and they're getting chemotherapy and all these different things. Okay, all these different types of treatment. The radiation, some people get radiation treatment. Okay, and with that radiation treatment, it speeds up the sickness process. And whereas one would have 6 months or more life expectancy from the time they're diagnosed to the time that they die, okay, because the radiation that they are exposed to is not as potent as 5G. So when they're exposed to 5G, it speeds up, just like the bandwidth, it speeds up the process of being ill in the event that you have exposure and are exposed to it. Okay? So then once you become exposed to it, 5G, which is, and they're calling it that, not that 2G, 3G, 4G couldn't affect you, because it can and does, but 5G is how they're referencing it because it's the fastest that we have exposure to right now. Instead of having that 6 month or more window, because 5G is so fast, it speeds up the process, takes the window away, decreases the development or possible progression time that a person would have to treat it. Okay. And they are developing what they call COVID-19, okay, or coronavirus. Okay. And they are dying quickly. They die just the same way that you get faster speed with your bandwidth because of 5G. That speeds up the process of your demise as well, of your body atrophying. Okay, so when this takes place, the sickness acts like a cancer, but faster. Okay, and someone said to me, "Okay, so why are they calling it a virus? Like flu. Why are they saying that?" Well, as I told you, and I know you guys are tired of hearing me tell you this, they can deceive you, but they cannot lie to us. Okay, so now they went from coronavirus to COVID-19. What is it? COVID-19, coronavirus disease 2019. Okay, they can deceive you, can't lie to you, right? Okay, so that means what happens when you watch a video on the internet and it gets a lot of hits? It goes what? Viral, okay? What happens when your computer starts to act up and it's not acting right because it developed a what? They say, oh, your computer has a virus. Okay. And the worse it is, the less chances you have of being able to restore it and you have to buy another computer. Okay. Why would they use computer terminology to describe what's happening to these people? It's because it developed from the computers, the phones, the internet, the speed, the bandwidth. So as a result, every time a new invention comes or develops, like the cure to the uh, the EBGBs, okay, and let's say Dr. Smith came up with a cure to the EBGBs, they're gonna I taught you guys about etymology. They're gonna commingle the name of the doctor with the disease some kind of way and say that this is the doctor or the person. Well, how did they get this name? Because that's the doctor that came up or the scientist that came up with whatever it was that helped to alleviate or develop a cure for that particular disease or whatever it may be. Okay, so that's the reason why they use that particular terminology to identify it, right? It's a pandemic, okay? So why didn't they do that or with the H1N1? Why didn't they just give it a name? You know, why didn't they just call it Corona? They had to because they can't lie to you. They didn't do that with Ebola. They didn't give that a computer term. A computer term. Okay, they didn't call it software. They didn't call it hack. They didn't do that. Okay, they didn't do it with the swine flu. They didn't do it with the influenza. They didn't do it with the Black Plague. But they're doing it now because they cannot lie. So I hope that kind of helps you better understand what it is or why it is that I hope that explains what's happening. Now let me explain how it can be considered a governmental fault. And I'm not talking about the fact that they didn't tell us as soon as they knew. I mean, that's clear that they should have done that, okay? All right. Well, I hate to tell you guys this, not because it's true, but because I hate to break your hearts. It's not Trump. Trump's doing the best that he can with what he has to work with. This is Obama's fault. This happened on Obama's watch. How so? Okay, this was all set up. Okay, this was all set up. Every president, every presidential administration has a platform. Everyone. Okay? I believe I talked about this before, ranging from uh, the Clintons and population control, um, the war on drugs with the Reagans or whatever it may be, and then with Obama. Do you guys remember what that was? He talked about two major things his entire time in office. And what is he known for to this day? Obama is known for Obamacare and the Obama phone. Okay? Why would they give this his name? They wanted to make sure that when this came to pass, that we would remember what we're talking about right now. I explained to you about it being computer or technically inspired. Okay. You have to be exposed, overly exposed, constantly exposed. Okay. So, with the Obama care, in order to have insurance, once this thing, in order to be diagnosed, once this thing went down, you have to have insurance. Okay. Well, let me work backwards. First, he did the phones, right? Well, first, not that he, okay, let me work backwards. When he did the Obama phone, they made sure that every person had a phone. So if you didn't, for whatever reason, have the financial capability of providing yourself or procuring a phone in some kind of way, they help you to procure a phone. Okay. You could be on DFSS, you could have been homeless. They got you an Obama phone. What the hell do you need a phone for on the corner? You got a phone, but not an address. The reason why they had everybody a phone was not the reason that everybody thought it was, which was to listen into your conversation, because I really don't think that any homeless people would have any critical information that they would want to hear. Okay? Those Obama phones was so that they could expose everybody to this 5G. And they did it via Obama. Now, you mean to tell me I know this and Obama doesn't? Okay? Now, as far as the medical care was concerned, they wanted to make sure that everybody could get to the hospital, could get to urgent care, could get to a clinic, could get diagnosed so that they could call a heart attack the results of COVID-19, so that they could call a stroke COVID-19, so that they could say that all these different things were the coronavirus when they may not necessarily have been that. Okay. So now we're in a situation where we fast forward to right now, and it happens or goes down on Trump's watch. Okay. So they start basically distributing all the checks. And I told you guys about etymology. If you are, first of all, before their day one, when the planet was first put together, there was no inside because there was no outside. There has to be contrast. There was no outside because there's no inside. There's no inside because there's no outside. There are no buildings, so everybody's outside. Okay, so that means outside is natural. So if outside is natural, that means inside is not natural. So you have indoors and you have outdoors today. Okay. So now they're distributing the quote unquote stimulus checks, right? You don't even have to ask for it. You don't even have to apply for it. You don't even have to say, hey, here I am, here's my address. And of course, they have a nice explanation for you. They explain it away. Oh, when you do your income tax, we will send it to you via your account by direct deposit. Oh, don't worry about it. If you can't get it that way, we'll send it to you. But at some point, you're going to have to sign something. Okay, let's do this. We're going to do the etymology rationalization, okay? Or the etymology determination, I should say, or determination of etymology. So you got indoors, right? Okay. They have quarantined us, which means we are where? Indoors. We're indoors now. When you get a check or the check, it's a stimulus check, but before you can get the money, you have to cash the check. So, what do you do in order to cash the check? You turn the check over and you endorse the check over, right? Okay. If you look up the word endorse or endorse, you turn it over. I'm sorry, you look up the word endorse. You could go Wikipedia, you can go to Google, whatever. The initial spelling of endorse is not ENDORSE, and I think some of you know where I'm going. It's INDORSE, endorse. And if you slow it down, like I told you, like I taught you, endorse the check, slowing it down is not endorse, it's indoors. Indoors. And where do they have us during this quarantine? Indoors. And you need to endorse the check. Now, I'm going to go to a quick um, reading for you guys, really quick, to look up the term because I don't want to add words or anything to this for y'all. Okay, I just had it here. Be patient with me, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back up. These people, boy, we gotta, ooh, this is awful. Okay, this is endorse, y'all. To declare one's public approval of support. This is unbelievable shit right here. To declare one's public approval of support. When you get that check and you endorse it, the next thing you know, that's going to be your approval to get an immunization shot. You watch and see what I tell you. To declare one's approval, one's public approval of support of something, to recommend something, to sign a check or a bill. Watch the homonyms. A bill is not only an invoice for payment, a bill is also the terminology that they utilize for law. How a bill becomes a law to make it legislation. On the back to make it payable to someone other than the state payee or accept responsibility. To accept responsibility for paying. Writing a comment on the front or the back of a document. A comment. Okay, and this is the first time in the history of the United States that a president's name is on the front of the check in the area where y'all know what I'm talking about. Trump's name is on the front of the check. It's crazy. When you signed that, I don't want it. Y'all do y'all thing. And see, here's the thing. Clearly, you can use $1,000, but let's just think about this for a minute. Don't you know that they know that $1,000? I'm rounding it down. $1,000 is not going to help. It can't alleviate first of all, look here. Stimulus. Okay, it's a stimulus check. It's a stimulus check. Here is the definition of stimulus. A thing or event that evokes a specific functional reaction in an organ or tissue. Why are you sending me a stimulus check, calling it stimulus? This is economics here, y'all. They're calling it a stimulus check, but the first definition of stimulus has to do with one's health, which is what this pandemic is. Not to mention, it used the term evoke. Evoke is something you do with spirits. This boy is gone, okay? Second definition, a thing that arouses activity or energy in someone or something. I am reading to you the definition of stimulus. A thing that rouses activity or energy in someone or something. a spur or incentive. Incentive means to make you do something, to make you get an immunization shot. This is a thing that rouses activity or energy in someone or something. This is getting dangerous because they're telling you what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They are being extremely open with it if you just look at it as a prima facie case. This is getting bad. Obama is the one that made this what it is, that exposed people to COVID-19 with those phones and in those and getting them to urgent care so they could get quote unquote diagnosed for it and say that that's what it is. This and then so that we could never come and say, well, wait a minute, that can't be the case with this person and that person. They didn't have a cell phone, so they made sure everybody had a cell phone. That boy was dangerous in office. He's a dangerous person, period. He's so dangerous because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what to expect with that boy. Well, I know what to expect. If you're watching, you know what to expect. But he leaves things up in the air. With Trump, you already know where he's coming from. You already know what to expect. Duck. But at this particular point, Trump is doing everything he can with what he can. They don't like Trump because Trump likes control and doesn't like to be controlled. And he's not doing everything they say the way they're saying to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. They're all in the same game. You guys remember that rap back in I think it was either the late 80s or the early 90s when all the gangs came together and Michael Concepcion brought them all together and said, we're all in the same gang. They're all in the same gang. Trust me, I'm not saying they're not. They are. Okay, but sometimes you get something that pull a little bit over to the right or a little bit over to the left sometimes. You know, a little resistance, just a little bit. Obama did all of their bidding. Obama did all of their bidding with no problem. Obama does not understand you. Obama doesn't want to understand us. He's not trying to understand us. Listen, I just learned something that I really didn't know because I don't have a lot of subscribers. So be thinking in a very finite way. I assume that most of my subscribers were in the same at least the same country as me. Not the same state. Of course, I'm not that foolish, but at least in the same country, maybe a few, outside and around. But since I asked people or invited people to reach out to me so that I could help them with a few things. And by the way, someone thought that I meant that it was exclusive to or to people who look like me, to brown people. But that's another story. I'll get to that later. That wasn't necessarily what I was saying. But okay, this is really bad. I can't really remember where I left off, but case in point, sometimes they'll pull to the left or the right. Obama set us up bad. This is where I was going with it. Obama doesn't understand you, nor is he trying to understand you. They are not going to put somebody in that White House. They're not going to put a black person in that White House who helped build it. Okay? There will never be anyone who was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. And remember, you heard it here, in the transatlantic slave trade in that house. Obama doesn't understand you. He doesn't have the same background as you. His culture is not the same as you. He doesn't have the same DNA structure as we have. We have an ancestral heritage that goes back to slavery. We are still bothered by the efficacy of what happened to us during that time. Obama's mother is white. She is not of the lineage of the African American transatlantic slave trade. Okay? Not necessarily African American, but transatlantic slave trade. His father was African, is African. Okay? Born and bred in Africa. Not African American. And I'm only using that term for the purpose of our communication, our need to communicate. He does not have the lineage of the DNA of one who has the effect of a person who is an ancestor of ours from the transatlantic slave trade. They don't have that. Obama doesn't have it. Neither of his parents were slaves here in America and went through what we went through what our ancestors went through. None of his people are. So he cannot relate to you if that's your situation. If you're African American, he cannot relate to you, and that is what they were selling. Look, he looks like you. He's in office. It's the brown puppet this time. That boy set the people up bad. I knew from the beginning, but then y'all know I'm an exceptional case. But still, it's not right. Okay, so he put an invisible weapon of mass destruction in the people's hands. Now, let me tell you why they were calling it the Chinese virus. This is why they wanted Trump to stop saying that. Every phone that's manufactured is a Samsung. It's a Motorola. It's a Toshiba. It's a this and that. They're all manufactured in China. So I think what happened is, I'm not certain, but I think what happened is a little bit stronger than what they anticipated it to be. It was a different anticipatory degree than what they had initially agreed upon. Now, this is the US, okay? But as far as China's motivation, it's this. And in the event I forget, y'all look up, if you haven't already, Africans in China so y'all can see how they're treating black folks in China. Now, this is what happened. They did a switcheroo. I don't think I should talk about that. Let me go to my notes. Okay, here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. I don't want to get in cosmic trouble, so I'll go straight here. As far as diseases are concerned, the same way that water is literally medicine, water is universal medication. I'm at 37 minutes. I'm coming, y'all. Water is a universal medication. Steam is water. Okay? Steam will kill any bacterial, fungus, infection, virus that there is. Steam. That's it. Steam. So you're telling me I know that and they don't? I mean, I've never even been to medical school. And not one person even suggested steam out of all these different news outlets that there are talking about this COVID-19. Okay? Now, I want to apologize to everybody really quick because I make notes that are extremely, extremely important, and it is relevant and it's necessary. It's relevant to our survival. And when I'm making them, I try to make them short so I don't have to do a lot of writing. But then when I go back to them, I forgot what the shorthand, my own personal shorthand, was supposed to mean. And I promise that I am going to stop doing that because it's not right. And to whom much is given, much is required. And I apologize to you because you can't be in a position that I'm in to give this message to you and be lazy. Okay? A lack of discipline is a horrible culprit. It's a thief. Okay? So listen here, y'all. If you heard about it, there was a woman who predicted this virus, this COVID-19, and when it was going to hit in 2020. Her name is Sylvia Brown. You can Google it. She used to be on the Montel Williams show all the time. But here's the thing. I'm going to work backwards again. Back in the day, J. Edgar Hoover had a woman who was supposed to be a psychic also, and they would give her their targets ahead of time, right? And make it seem like she was psychic. And then they busted her. Okay. Now, Sylvia Brown, who is dead now, literally gave this prediction. And I think it was in a book, but you can Google it. Sylvia Brown. Just look up Sylvia Brown, Google Sylvia Brown coronavirus prediction. It has the date and everything. And then she says it's going to go away, come back, and go away and come back, whatever like that. But this lady is a fraud also because she was on, you can YouTube this. This is on YouTube. She was on a couple of Montel Williams shows and she literally was telling people that she was acting as a medium. Okay. Keep that term in mind. Acting as a medium and talking to their loved ones and just basically being able to tell them things that they wouldn't otherwise know. So there was this lady whose daughter had been kidnapped. And she asked Sylvia Brown on the Montel Williams show whether or not her daughter was alive, if she'd ever see her again. She told the lady, she was sorry that her daughter was dead and she'd never see her again. This lady mourned herself to death, believing her Montel's ass and having her on there, and she died. Sometime after this lady having mourned herself to death and passing away, the daughter resurfaced. She was found. She was recovered. They found the daughter. But by the time she was found, the mother was dead. So she died believing that her baby was gone. So we know she's a fraud. Okay. So you know what they say, history repeats itself. Okay. Moving to the next issue. I'm trying to get through this. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through all of it. Now, not only can they not lie to us, they have and can only deceive us, they have to give us some sort of red flags or something. Now, I've already told you guys that generally whatever they do, they have to do it in a movie first, or they do it in a movie first, or give you some sort of notice first. Okay? As we speak, on Netflix, there is a series called Pandemic. Now, it's not that it's an Oscar-worthy documentary or anything like that, but they're saying things like, it's coming, we don't know when, it's going to be more than an epidemic, it's going to be all around the world, yada, 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 and all this kind of stuff. Now, I used to be in the entertainment industry. I used to be an actress, so I know how long it takes to make a film, even a bad one, okay? So not only is there one documentary, it's a series, y'all, like 5 to 8 episodes. Okay, how long has that been in the can? And then the mayor said, okay, Gil Garcetti's son, I'm sorry, Eric Garcetti, the mayor said that the city of Los Angeles now has a contract with Netflix so that everybody can get free Netflix. Why not Hulu? Because Pandemic is on Netflix. These people are crazy. Okay, I know I'm not going to be able to get through all of it. There are some things that are going on with that stimulus check, y'all, in this whole situation. But please don't ask me in the comments or email me and ask me, because I don't want to put it out there like that. I don't want to do that. But if you happen to see me, out somewhere, feel free to walk up to me and ask me, and I'll tell you if I see you. I'll be more than happy to talk to you about it in person if I happen to see you. Not that we're out right now, but I have to say it. Okay. Oh, now we're all indoors, right? We're all quarantined. You're going to quarantine me and then entertain me. Okay. So while we're quarantined, we can expect several things to come. We can expect a whole bunch of babies come next December. Okay. Because everybody's having sex. Okay. I was going to say the other word, but I'm a lady. So we can expect that. And the 5G is what's causing this thing. So now you're going to entertain me, and I'm going to be on the phone more than ever. I'm going to be watching TV more than ever. I'm going to be, when I say I'm talking about the average person, I like to read. Uh, I'm going to be on my, and even some people who like to read, they're going to be on their uh, Kindles more than ever. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be listening to audiobooks more than ever. They're going to be on the internet more than ever. They're going to be 5G exposed more than ever. And then not able to go outside into the sun to get rid of it. This, oh God, this is bad. Okay, so they've got us in the house exposed to it more than ever. Okay, and out of all of these mandatory claims or mandatory uh, demands for us to wear these masks, and people even have gloves on and things. Wear the mask, wear the mask, wear the mask. Have y'all noticed that all these press conferences we having with your governor, with the president, and all these different people with Trump, nobody has on a mask. They wiping the microphones down and all of this type of, but nobody has on a mask. Okay, what's really going on? What do we really have going on here? You know, and I'm really, really thinking about what the state of the situation that we're in, simply because something's wrong, y'all. Because every time, every time the president of the United States gives a speech, two things are supposed to happen. He's supposed to have the flag behind him and the presidential seal at the podium, even if he's giving it on the North Lawn, even if he's giving it on the lawn of the White House. But that hasn't been the case. And I'm wondering, does that have anything to do with anything? But hey, okay, who am I? Okay, uh, so, oh yeah. Y'all, we got to keep moving. We're in the house, but we got to keep moving. Okay, y'all exercise. Okay. This video is at 47 minutes. I don't want y'all to get tired. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up and get to the rest of it later, because all of this is so important. It's muy importante. Okay. We got to keep moving. Okay. You got to exercise even though you're in the house. You know, go out on the balcony if you have one. Just move around in the house. Okay, I want to let you know how important and how helpful it is. Okay, not just for aesthetic purposes. You know, everybody, by the time the quarantine is over, assuming that it ever will be, by the time the quarantine is over, everybody big and out of shape and can't be physical if they need to, meaning protect themselves if they need to. Everybody out of shape. You don't want that to happen. You don't want to be cardiovascularly challenged. Okay, I'm going to tell you about a study. And then I'm going to wrap it up. It's a very interesting fact in terms of longevity of life. In terms of longevity of life, damn it, and I was going to show y'all my supplements I forgot to bring up, but I have them. I'll probably do another video a little later on today. But anyway, the study was done on professions and longevity of life, meaning what profession had the longest life expectancy. And the longest life expectancy running since they've been doing this study has not changed. And the longest the profession is conductors of music. They have the longest life expectancy on record, period, running. For many, many years, people thought that it was because of the music. But then some genius, some forward-thinking person said, well, wait a minute. It can't be the music because the rest of the orchestra is dropping like, well, not necessarily dropping like flies, but not dying, not living or dying at a faster rate than the conductors. So it can't be the music, right? Come to find out that the reason why the conductors have such a long life expectancy, including, wait a minute now, y'all, including directors of bands, like college bands. No exception there. The reason why they have a longer life expectancy is because once you're a conductor, you have your stick and you're doing this, right? They're working their hands really fast and in a rhythmic way. And it gets the heart to pumping because you're working the upper body. And the lower body may not be working, but the upper body is, and it pumps the blood throughout the entire body. Okay. And you can easily replicate that same thing every morning in front of the mirror to make sure you stand with the rhythm and play some music. But you can do that. It doesn't have to be in the morning. You can do it in the evening or whenever it is and get your cardio on just like that. But y'all, we have to keep moving no matter what. We got to keep moving because when this thing goes down, y'all, we're going to have to be fit, run in place, do something. But we need to stay physically prepared. Okay. I don't want to go off here and be of, you know what? I'm just gonna have to just face the fact that I need to do another video because I don't like to do them more. I don't like to do videos up to an hour because, like I said, people get frustrated and tired, and it's so important that you guys see these videos. This information is pertinent. I didn't even get a chance to go through my notes, so I'll be back later on to go through my notes, and I'm not gonna promise because I don't like to break them, but I'll be back soon to hit you guys up on the with the notes. Okay, so you guys stay well, stay safe, stay woke, stay alert, stay ready. Love y'all so much.